sower went on to sow. And as he sowed, some seed fell on the path, and birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky ground where it had little soil. It sprang up at once because the soil was not deep. And when the sun rose, it was scorched, and it withered for lack of roots. Some seed fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it. But some seed fell on rich soil, and it produced fruit, 100 or 60 or 30-fold.
Guys,
for me, after each conference that I went to as a teenager, I was on this Jesus high for like 2 weeks, ready to be martyred for my faith. Okay, like 2 weeks later, I would be drinking with my friends again. Now, some people look at teens and think, whatever, it doesn't make a difference. They just go back to their old ways. Not so. You see, because the sins didn't taste as sweet anymore. After you experience the Lord, you see everything in a different light. And you realize what's an empty well in your life? It's not really going to give you living water. Amen?
Amen.
But check it out. It took me years to learn that the stuff I experienced at this conference, it was still there at home. You see, all the stuff that lifted me up every year at this yearly conference as a teenager, the real fellowship, the prayer, the adoration, loving and serving other people around me, all that stuff was also at home. It's all there. All those springs of living water that want to nourish the seed of faith, it's all there at your home parish. Here's the difference. Here, it's easy. It's easy to get that living water. It's all around you. You're encouraged to drink the living water of God. Okay, and I'm like, okay, cool. Really? Okay, wait, hold on. At home, it takes discipline to dig into the ground and find it. It takes discipline. And St. Benedict said, you can't even begin your ascent toward God without discipline. And in fact, the word disciple and discipline have the same root in ancient Greek. Don't ask me what that is. But they're the same root because you can't be a disciple without discipline. It's so essential. And we're going to talk about a couple disciplines of a disciple so that when you go home, you can keep growing in Jesus Christ just like you do on this weekend. Because you've got the same stuff waiting for you at home. Just takes a little more work to get. Cool? The first discipline of a disciple I want to share with you guys. Check this out. You have to want it. You have to want greatness, not mediocrity. You have to want true greatness. Now check this out. I'm not talking about wanting to be a big deal. I'm talking about wanting to be great. There's a difference between being a big deal and being great. What's the difference? Well, St. Francis was truly great. St. Francis of Assisi. Go back to the 1200s where he was around. There was a big deal who was a king at the time. He had all this stuff going for him, and all money, and everything going for him. What was his name? Oh, yeah. Okay. There's one of the differences between being big and being great. If you're a big deal, you'd be forgotten 40 years after you're dead. And if you're great, you'll be on holy cards and refrigerators 800 years from now.
That's awesome.
And even if you don't make holy card status, like your great-grandma, who was just really holy and loved other people and prayed real well, dude, she's blazing like the sun in heaven for all eternity. Amen?
Amen.
Cool. There's a difference between being big and being great. Another beautiful story that shows the difference. Maximilian Kolbe. Any Maximilian Kolbe fans out there?
Yes.
St. Maximilian Kolbe was a priest when the Nazis took over Poland. He was a priest in Poland. And he wrote stuff against the Nazis. So they took him and they threw him in Auschwitz. While he was in Auschwitz, a prisoner escaped. And whenever a prisoner escaped, they tried to deter the other prisoners from doing the same by lining them all up and picking random prisoners and sending them to a starvation bunker. So they just walk down this line of people. Think of how terrifying that would be. Just pick you. They go off to this bunker with no food or water until they die. Well, something different happened this day. They picked one of the prisoners who fell to the ground and started to sob. What about my wife? What about my kids? Father Kolbe saw this happen and stepped out of line. You step out of line at Auschwitz, they're not going to say, would you like fries with your burger, sir? They'll kill you, just for that. But not only that, he walked past all the guards, past the guard dogs, straight up to the commander. And people who were there remember the scene and said the commander was shaking with fear in the presence of this guy. He said, what do you want? I want to take his place. Are you crazy? I'm a Catholic priest. So the answer is yes, I am crazy. In a good way. In a good way. That week, instead of howls of pain coming from the starvation bunker, people remember the prisoners were singing praise songs to God. Colby's last act, after the guards injected him with carbolic acid, was to bless them. Here's a commander of the Nazi army. He had all the power of the world behind him. And he was shaken in the presence of an emaciated prisoner. There's a difference between being truly great and being a big deal. Now, there's a lot of ways to become a big deal that are fine. God might call you to be a big deal. He might. He might call you to be rich and famous. He might call you to be the next Justin Bieber, whatever. But he might not. And some of us think that, anything that you're told us since kindergarten, I'm going to burst your bubble right now. You can accomplish anything you want to. That was actually a lie. Okay, sorry. You're like, whoa. My kids watch Big Time Rush, okay? It's like this junior high Nickelodeon thing.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. My daughter was in mourning for like a month when she found out James was married. Okay. One of their songs, my junior high kids sitting watching this, one of some girl's crying right now. One of their songs, do you want to ride in a big limousine if you want to be discovered, end up on the covers of every Star Rocket magazine? You can do this. Stick right to it. You guys, this is going to shock you right now. Okay, listen. More people want to be rich and famous than the number of people who actually become rich and famous.
What?
Whoa! Whoa!
Stop it!
Whoa. Guys, check this out. God might call you to be a big deal. He might call you to be rich and famous. God bless you if he does. That's cool. Use it to glorify him. And I'm not saying don't set big goals for yourself. Go for what you think God is calling you to do. But not everybody gets there in the worldly sense. But that's okay, because everybody's called to something more important. Everybody is called to greatness. Pope Benedict XVI said the world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Bam! What is greatness? Greatness is not success at what you do. Greatness is success at who you be. Greatness is not success at what you accomplish. Greatness is success at who you become. Wanted. Stop wanting everything the world places before you, because this world is fading away. You want heroes? Look to the saints. Make them your role models. Don't want to be 50 Cent anymore. Want to be Padre Pio. Can I hear an amen?
Amen.
And people out there in the Dead Theologian Society? Yeah, one of the cool apostolate studies saints. Dude, whatever you can do, man, pick up books, do whatever you can do, study the lives and teachings of the saints. Let that form who you want to become. So the first step to being a real disciple is wanting it, wanting greatness. Second, prayer. Okay, I'm not going to say anything like, what? Okay, you've heard this stuff before. This is basic stuff. Isn't it cool? God wasn't like, hey, become holy. Good luck trying to figure out how to do that. Really, should I go up to a mountaintop in Tibet and hum? Okay, God bless those who do that. But be like, how do I do this? It's all accessible. He calls us to perfection. He calls us to holiness. He calls us to be saints. And makes it something we can do. So prayer. Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Beautiful life. Guys, love at a distance is almost like heartwarming, like a Hallmark card, right? Kind of like being a parent from a distance. It's all like heartwarming and cute. Up close and personal, it's terrifying. 4 in the morning, rocking my kid to sleep. Please, go to sleep. Mother Teresa's life, up close and personal, terrifying. She had a home for the dying where tens of thousands of people died. If you're dying in Atlanta, Georgia, in the streets, are you going to die in the street? Probably not. You're going to get brought to a hospital. In Calcutta, you're dying in the streets. Where do you die?
In the streets.
Street. People walk over you on their way to work. They let you die there. That's how abandoned some of these people are, especially with the caste system there. So she started a home for the dying. They picked people off the street. Some of them were so neglected and abandoned, they had to spend hours picking maggots off of their bodies. This is something they do regularly. Sounds gross. It's their reality. Day in, day out. Guys, if we went and served in a home for the dying for 4 hours, some of us would have to come home and go to counseling. Seriously. We'd be traumatized. Day in, day out, year after year. A reporter once asked Mother Teresa, don't you lose heart? You've been here for years. No, it's getting better. She said, God calls